girls of QSI, and welcome to another episode of the Queen of Happiness. Today is a wonderful day. The sun is shining. We just had Earth Day, and I have a very special guest. And he's not just any guest, he's an actual author. And an author is someone who writes stories. And he's a very special author because he writes stories for children. And he writes about my most favorite thing, feelings. So let's talk to him right now. Hello, Mr. King.
Hello, Queen of Happiness.
Hi. Thanks for calling me today. Where are you right now?
I am in Chamarine, and that's because I have been helping teachers all year in the schools here.
Oh, that's wonderful. So today we're going to hear your story. What is the name of the story that you wrote?
It's called The Day Samuel Ran Away.
The Day Samuel Ran Away. Oh, it sounds exciting. What made you decide to become an author?
I'm going to say it was my grandmother and my mother. Both of them told all kinds of stories in the family about the family and about other people we knew. And my mother loved words, and she was always telling us little stories. So I grew up loving them and eventually wanted to tell stories of my own.
Oh, that's super. You know, grandmas and grandpas are so special. And in fact, right here, this is a picture of my grandma and my grandpa when they were very young. Isn't that wonderful?
That is outstanding. Very cool.
Yes. So right now we're going to listen to your story, and we're going to listen to it, and we're going to watch it. So here it is.
The Day Samuel Ran Away. Samuel was not happy. You could tell by his face. This is his grumpy face. This is his hungry face. This is his happy face. They look a lot alike. And his friends, boy and girl, did not notice. So Samuel ran away. It took 3 days. 3 days later, Samuel was still running away. No one noticed he was running away. That made Samuel sad. This is Samuel's sad face. So Samuel told Rufus Hummingbird he was running away. But Rufus was fidgety and flighty. Rufus did not listen well. He even closed his eyes when Samuel was talking. It was rude and hurt Samuel's feelings. He told Cat he was running away, but Cat never even looked at Samuel. Cat just stared at Rufus and licked his lips and said, "Yum." And Rufus said, "I have to go," and flew away. Finally, Samuel told Dog he was running away. "Oh," said Dog, "well, how are you?" "You can't tell?" asked Samuel. "No," said Dog. We tell others how we're feeling with words or by how we look. When I'm happy, my tail wags. When I have a ball, I smile. I'm told I have a very nice smile. When I'm sad, my ears droop and I whine. How about you? "Well," said Samuel, "I'm not sure how I look when I have a feeling. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm feeling." So Dog laid down and looked Samuel in the eyes. "You look grumpy, sad, and hungry," said Dog. Samuel was a little surprised Dog knew. This is Samuel's surprised face. "If Dog could not see how I was feeling right away," said Samuel, "I suppose boy and girl did not know how I was feeling either." And now that Dog knew, Samuel felt a little less sad and grumpy. "How could you tell what I was feeling?" asked Samuel. "I looked on the inside," said Dog. Well, said Samuel thoughtfully, that's the place to look. So he pulled his head in a little to see if he could see inside too. He could. What do you need? Asked Dog. I need a nice carrot and someone to notice how I feel, said Samuel. I already noticed, said Dog. Well, that's true, said Samuel. So now all I need is a nice carrot. I'll find that at home. Thank you, Dog. So Samuel ran, rather slowly, home. It took 4 days because he stopped for a little something to eat. He was hungry after all. I thought about having a lovely hamburger, said Samuel, but then I remembered hamburgers make me a little gassy. Just thinking about being a tooting tortoise made Samuel feel embarrassed. This is Samuel's embarrassed face. Girl and boy and 2 of their friends were waiting for him. They were having a making silly faces contest, and one of them had already won. I thought you might be running off to have an adventure, said Girl. I do enjoy adventure, said Samuel. That zip line we were on was like flying, and the speed was quite untortoise-like. I thought perhaps you'd gone dancing, said Boy. We knew you were going somewhere. You were a little closer to the gate each day for 3 days. Well, I am known for my dancing, said Samuel, but the truth is, I ran away. I was sad. I thought no one noticed how I was feeling. Sad? Asked Boy and Girl. Why? I did not know why I was sad, said Samuel, and because I did not know, I felt like running away. But then I didn't want to run away, and then I did want to run away. I wasn't sure what I was feeling. It was so confusing. What do you suppose Samuel's confused face looks like? You're right. This is Samuel's confused face. Well, thought Samuel, Dog taught me what to do. Look inside. So he pulled his head inside his shell and took a look. And there, right next to memories of his favorite snowboard, his guitar, and the clompers, his baby shoes, sat a little blob of sad and happy. When we're sad, it means we lost something, said Boy. Did you go looking for what you lost? Asked Girl. Well, that's quite a big question, said Samuel. So he thought about it. When Samuel tried to talk to Rufus, he closed his eyes, and Cat never looked at him. But Dog looked right at him and asked him what he needed. Well, thought Samuel, I needed someone to notice and listen. But before he could even tell this to Girl and Boy sat on the ground next to Samuel so they could look closely at his eyes. Did you run away because you were a little sad and grumpy? They asked, and added, and a little hungry? Yes, said Samuel. And I was also confused. He was grateful they listened and happy they noticed. Since he was hungry and a little sad, they gave him several nice carrots and an affectionate pat on his shell. Well, said Samuel, Boy and Girl are learning to look inside. And then he thought, not everyone can see inside. Maybe I should learn to show others how I'm feeling. So he did. He smiled. There are questions for the day Samuel ran away. Get ready. They start on the very next page. True or false? And how do you know? Can a tortoise run away? Do tortoises ever have adventures? Do tortoises dance? Are dogs better than hummingbirds at knowing how people or tortoises feel? Are dogs better than cats at knowing how people or tortoises feel? Do you ever feel like you want to run away? Are there times you don't know what you feel? Can you tell how you feel by looking inside? Can you show others how you feel? What do you look like when you're grumpy? What do you look like when you're sad? What do you look like when you're happy? What do you look like when you're hungry? Are you hungry right now? You are? Well, you big silly. Stop reading this and go have a little snack right now. Hey, how about a delicious carrot?
Wow, what a terrific story that was. One of my favorite parts about it was Samuel and all the faces that he made. That was a funny part of the story. What do you think, Mr. King? What was your favorite part of the story?
I I loved the faces, and I thought it was pretty funny that every face he made, whether he was happy or grumpy or whatever, was the same face, and that he learned eventually to show people how he felt. And my other favorite part was when boy and girl talked to Samuel at the end, and they told him two things. One was that we feel sad when we've lost something, like a special toy or a friend that moves away, or even the sense that we can go outside and go to school, which has kind of happened to some of us. And sometimes we feel like we want to go looking for that thing that we lost. That was one of my favorite parts too.
Yeah, those are normal feelings.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder, what kind of faces do you make that show your feelings?
Here we go, okay? So Samuel has a grumpy face, and his looks all the same as the other faces. So here's kind of my grumpy face. And I maybe make that face if I open the refrigerator, freezer, and the ice cream is gone. And I have a hungry face, which I would make before I open the freezer and look for the ice cream. And the hungry face is, I'm kind of hungry. It looks a little like my scared face, because I'm hungry, I'm hoping there's food there. And honestly, one of my favorite faces is my happy face. And I make that when I see family or friends or do something I really like. I make it when I see you, Queen of Happiness, because you're one of my friends and one of my favorite people. Here's my happy face. I'll make it for you now. Oh, it's the Queen of Happiness.
Oh, that's great. I'm making a happy face now too because I'm so enjoying seeing you. Well, thank you so much, Mr. King, for being on our show. It was really special for us today. And please come back anytime that you are free because you're very special to us.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for listening to the story, kids.
Have a wonderful day. And that's all from the Queen of Happiness Palace in Dunajska Lužna.